and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Time now for a PNC Pause. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve in the South Florida community. See how at pnc.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections. Tuesday, November 5th is Election Day, and the polls are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Find where you vote at votepalmbeach.gov. Remember to bring your photo and signature ID. If you still have a mail ballot, you can either vote in person at your polling location, drop it off at one of our drop-off locations during designated hours, or bring it to our main office by 7 p.m. on Election Day. It's an honor to serve and ensure your vote counts. See you at the polls. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections Office.
Hey, it's your boy JC. Did the New York Jets just decide Aaron Rodgers' future for him? Find out on today's brand new episode of Questionable Call with Josh Cohen, exclusively on YouTube. Subscribe now on YouTube. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Brand new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mike Rizzo. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you, partner.
Are you one? Are you two? Are you three?
Man.
How long we have? We have half an hour?
Man, I'll tell you what, 20 has never felt so good, right, Tina? No, big 3-0, folks, big 3-0. Still can't believe I'm 30 years old, honestly. Told my mother and father that both today.
Did you wake up feeling different today?
No, I actually woke up and took one out of your book. I went and worked out.
Well, that means something different.
I woke
big
up.
30, it's time to change it up and change things up.
I woke up, I worked out. I've been telling you, I've been hating having to work out after work. I just want to go home and be able to relax. So I went to bed early last night, signed off with the boys on the sports and the World Series and the Xbox. Woke up, got a run in, got a lift in if you're watching on YouTube, flexing the muscles a bit. So ready to roll today. And Colin, I'll tell you what, we were at one of my favorite spots today. What a birthday gift it is today.
Absolutely. The Boca Raton Bowl golf outing today at the Boca Raton Resort right here in Boca Raton, Florida. In terms of a top-tier event space, top-tier golf course, top-tier event period, I don't think you could get much better than the Boca Raton golf outing. This is something that Rizzo's been talking about. Maybe it's the birthday, and he's got so much on his mind, and it's the rah-rah, and it's such an important day. But you've been on cloud nine because of this event. This has been a superb event in terms of seeing all of our friends of the station and seeing a couple, athletes, people who work in sports, some people who don't, and they're all playing golf. And who doesn't like playing golf on a Wednesday like this? It's a good midway point of the week type of activity.
It's amazing. And the Boca Raton, actually, Colin, we stayed here, my aunt, my Uncle Patrick, my Aunt Vicky, and my cousin Blake, we stayed here when I was like 13, or early teenager. And I remember coming here and like doing, we call them site surveys, like testing the connection and whatever. And we came here and I remember calling my aunt, I'm like, Auntie Vicky, didn't we come? She goes, do you not remember when we went on vacation there? And it all snapped. So this has been a place that we've visited a number of times. It wasn't just that time. We went when I was even younger, Colin. So this place is awesome. It's a great event. People are having fun. The vibes are high. We were heckling people on hole 10 today, having some fun, doing a little walk-up music in honor of the World Series. Now, I know it, golf etiquette, but we were doing a little walk-up music,
at an event like this,
people.
You forego the golf etiquette because Hey, this is not the PGA Tour. We're more leaning on the side of the liberals, and this is not the traditional side of how you organize a golf outing, but that's why it's fun, and that's why everybody's having a good time here as we got you from 4 to 6 today. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Damian Perez helping us out in the ones and twos. Back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Mike and I are down south in Boca Raton. It's his 30th birthday, so if you want to give your well wishes, please, the phone lines are open, 888-760-3776. That's 888-760-3776. World Series Game 4 last night, Game 5 tonight. Dodgers and the Yankees. Yankees breathed a little bit of life yesterday, an 11-4 routing of the Dodgers and a late inning explosion. The bottom half of the lineup, Anthony Volpe, Alex Verdugo, Austin Wells, making big-time plays and getting that offense going, really, for the New York Yankees and, breathing some much-needed life into that lineup, into that ballpark. And this has now turned into an important Game 5 tonight at Yankee Stadium, 808, with Garrett Cole, their ace on the mound.
Yeah, and Cole, we talked about it yesterday on the show. We were a little, I guess, head-scratching a little bit that Cole maybe didn't request to pitch for the game last night. Well, now he got him tonight. And I think they played well enough in Los Angeles to win that first Cole game. You said how important it was to win both Cole games. I completely agreed with you. And look what happened. You lost the Cole game. You were down 3-0 last night. So if you win tonight, things get interesting for the Yankees. And I wonder what the thought process is with the Dodgers, because they punted last night, in my opinion.
This is an all hands on deck game.
Yeah.
This is an all. You do not let this game. Weirdly enough, you do not let this game get back to Los Angeles.
Right.
You do not let this series get back to Los Angeles. You give the Yankees any more life, 2 home victories plus a day off and travel. All of a sudden, the Dodgers will start to tighten up, and you've seen it before.
And I think Yankee fan will tell you, the Volpe, obviously the Volpe home run when it happened, it was a sense of relief. It's like, my God, we finally got the big hit in this series. I know Stanton had a couple of home runs earlier in the early games, but last night when Volpe hit that grand slam, it's like, my God, we finally got the big hit. And then obviously the game got broken open later on. And, Colin, there's a lot of other things that happened in the game, a lot of other things in the news as well, specifically with Mookie Betts and some fans. He had to answer about it after the game. So it is that Yankee mojo back. Did they brew up a potion in the cauldron last night?
I'm still leaning on the sense of false hope to a degree, but I do think there's a case of optimism that you could take from the Yankee perspective because they have Cole tonight. It ended up working out. I give Boone credit. He went Weaver early in that 8th inning to get the top of the lineup out on the Dodger side of things, so you didn't have to go with him in the 9th because of that explosion they had offensively. I give him credit for that. But the Dodgers, like you said, punted a little bit, didn't use any of their top-tier arms out of the pen. And this is tonight going to be an all-hands-on-deck. And if they strike first, this is going to be a very meticulous game called by Dave Roberts and getting those arms out of the pen and situationally pitching these guys throughout the entire lineup. I don't think you change a thing if you're the Yankees. You try to ride with the mojo, and you hope that last night's game inspired something throughout 1 through 9. But that you cannot rely on the 7 through 9, Wells, Volpe, and Verdugo. You cannot rely on that game by game. You cannot rely on that again. If it happens, great, but that is not something that you are game planning to bank on. You need your 1 through 3, your 1 through 4 in the batting line order to really show up tonight in a big spot. Give Cole some cushion. Let him go deep. Key. Let him go deep. Give him 6-7 innings, and then see if they can escape and get back to Los Angeles with the rest of it tomorrow.
You need the Judge. You need the Stanton. You need the Soto. You need your brass of that lineup to be the guys that get the mojo and the feeling back in the stadium. Like, I can't stress enough, the Volpe home run was a breath of fresh air. It was like everybody
was pissed off at Volpe because of his base running last night with the Austin Wells double off the wall, and it's like Volpe and the third base coach had no idea what the hell they were doing. And all of a sudden, Volpe could only advance 90 feet when Austin Wells gets a double off the back wall. Really? That is the youth talking out of Anthony Volpe, but he made up for it. 2 for 3. He had a walk. He was all over the place in the field. Anthony Volpe played like his life was on the line. That's what the Yankees need. Play like your life is on the line. It's reminiscent of that 3-0 series back in 2004 in which the Red Sox, they basically won 8 straight against 2 straight 100-win teams and to cut down that curse in 2004. Of the 40 series, I don't have a fact check on this, but I read it. Of the 40 last series that were up 3-0, 31 were finished in 4. 4 of the 40 went to 7. One of them most famously was the...
Yep, and you got that right, brother. I got it right here, MLB.com. Of the previous 40 clubs to do it, 31 swept the series and won in 5 games.
Yes,
so,
and I believe the one that's most recently that forced it to 7 was, of course, that Astros-Rays series, which I thought the Rays were dead in the water, but the Rays were able to win Game 7. And, of course, I think it was the Mets in the late 90s as well. But this is a situation, if you want to do this, play like your life is on the line tonight. And you saw it from Volpe, you saw it from Verdugo, and from Wells, of all people. Time to see it from Judge. And Soto, has his off moments, fine. But I trust Soto in a big spot. It's time to see it from your front half of the lineup. And play like your life is on the line. Play like you have absolutely nothing to lose, because that is the only way you're going to get out of New York tonight with another game in Los Angeles.
And can you imagine if Judge is the one that hits that grand, say bases are loaded tonight, Judge comes up, he hits a grand slam, that place is going to go crazy. All of a sudden, that place is now, what the Dodgers had in their first two games at home. If you get a big hit from one of those guys, Colin, I think that the momentum is gonna swing in their way, and you're gonna see you're gonna see those Yankees back in Los Angeles. I know Los Angeles has the players to do it. Mookie Betts is unreal. Freddie Freeman. Colin, we talked during the outing. Is it the standard for Freeman to get this team 2-0, 3-0 before the first inning is over? I know they can hit.
They've been doing it all postseason.
Brother, I know this team can hit. But if the Yankees get a home run from Judge specifically, now Soto, we know when we've seen.
Judge is the blood of that lineup.
Agreed. And if you get a big home run from Judge, I think you carry that momentum all 9 innings, and the Yankees will be able to pull it out. That's my best guess. I haven't been right in this series. Here's the thing, though. I've not been right in this series one time. I got to tip the cap to Colin, because you said, partner, you didn't think the Yankees had enough, not mojo, but enough talent, basically, to compete with the Dodgers. Top to bottom in the lineup, they're getting starting pitching. Yeah, Buehler had that 6 ERA heading into that World Series game. How the hell did he look? How did he look? He looked pretty doggone good stealing that game in New York. So you need that game from Judge, and I know Yankee fans are going to be looking at him tonight.
You're going to need that. You're going to need Garrett Cole to give you 6, 7 strong innings. Give him cushion. He's better that way. Don't let Cole put you in a position there where it's 6th, 7th inning and it's 0-0 with no runs on, because that favors the Dodgers. And that late inning, trying to get something out of Cole where he gives up a couple fly balls here and there in that tiny stadium, that is a situation that favors the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yep. Get him some cushion early, and it starts with the lineup. You cannot rely on Volpe. Once again, he's playing great, fine. But this is a situation in which you're going to need Soto, Judge, and Stanton. I would even say Judge, capital J, capital all throughout it. That is the blood of this lineup. You are not getting back to Los Angeles. You are not winning this series. You're not even coming close without Aaron Judge having his big moment. And he needs one. You'll see if he does. And I'm willing to buy into a degree that I think the Yankees are going to play well tonight. But this is going to be a game in which I think you know what type of Yankee team you're going to get within the first 3 innings.
With how good the bullpen has been for the Yankees, too, if you do get that game from Cole where he goes 5, where he goes 6, now I'm with you. I think he's got to go more than 5. But you've seen the Yankees starting pitching outside of Cole not even be able to go 2, not even be able to go 3. If you get that 5, 6, 7 range from Cole, you have faith in Conley. You have faith in Weaver in the back end of the late innings. You have faith in the submarine thrower Hill. So you need that good start from Cole. You need the brass of the lineup to step up. And that's why I was big on asking you today, do they have the mojo? Did they cock up a concoction?
You can't say that yet. You can't say that yet.
I agree.
But from that point, if you have your ace tonight, guess what? This is the game where you actually don't have to use all your bullpen arms. You used a whole lot of them yesterday. This is now a game where if you could get somebody that could take up the bulk of the innings, eat up a number of innings, especially if you get a cushion, Then all of a sudden, when you get back to Game 6, if it gets there in Los Angeles, and you're going to have Yamamoto on the mound, who has been, rock solid, but, is somewhat unproven, then that is a situation that the Yankees enjoy. And that is a situation where the Dodgers can really tighten up. Because if you give them that off day, you give them that travel day, all of a sudden the team tightens up. They hear the noise. And whether they're at home or not, they're nervous about being that team that blows that 3-0 lead. And then that's in the back of their head if you get out of New York. That is the key. You need to get out of this game tonight and play another one and let kind of the pressure reside over them. The Yankees had all the pressure those first few games. And you felt it and you saw it. Now it's time to shift that pressure over, throw over that blanket to the other dugout, and the Dodgers will start to feel it, but they need to go back to L.A. That's where you'll start to feel it.
Advantage who tonight?
Dodgers. They don't. I think
because they punted the pitching and saved their arms.
They have all their arms. Flaherty has been rock solid, and they're a better team. And they have shown an ability to show up game in and game out. They know how to close out a team. They gave up one of these games to the Mets, and they turned around right after that, and they dominated them. So that is what the Dodgers have done. I understand it was in New York, but it was in L.A., but that is what the Dodgers have done. They have been able to, show a bit of closure in these late series situations. Now, a big story that comes out of that game, of course, the first 3 innings of that Game 4 game last night in the World Series, it was highlighted by, the Freddie Freeman home run early, Volpe's, mishaps on the base running path, and, of course, 2 Yankee fans over in the right field line that notably ripped the ball out of Mookie Betts' glove, trying to make a play on a foul ball there, and grabbed his arm, 2 guys, and they were escorted out of the stadium, and it gets into the whole conversation. It was called a fan interference, of course, but it gets into the whole conversation about fan interference and how it should be treated. Some of these guys are being glamorized. I think these guys should never step foot in an MLB stadium again. There's a whole argument about that. I want to get Mike's thoughts. It's his birthday today, number 30, Mike Rizzo's birthday at the Boca Raton Golf Outing at the Boca Raton right here in South Florida. We want to get into the fan etiquette, the fan interference. Is it comparable to something like the Steve Bartman game back in 2003? We'll get into that and more next. Stick around. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
What's the Anajar and Levine difference? When you're injured in a car crash, we focus on your case so you can focus on the one thing that matters most. Getting better. I'm Glenn Levine with Anajar and Levine. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Mornings. Nope, not my thing. But when I imagine a McDonald's breakfast in my hand, suddenly the snooze button is out of the picture. Now for a limited time, the 2 for $5 mix and match breakfast deal includes the sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, egg McMuffin, or the sausage McMuffin with egg. It's like a fist bump for breakfast that says, you've got this. It's time to gear up and seize the day. The breakfast hype is real. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Attention chicken lovers, we asked for it and McDonald's came through. Introducing the Chicken Big Mac. Treat yourself to the mouth-watering perfection of a Chicken Big Mac. 2 tender, juicy chicken patties sandwiched between a sesame seed bun, plus classic Big Mac sauce, tangy pickles, crisp lettuce, and a melty slice of American cheese. Hey chicken lovers, we did it. Order ahead in the McDonald's app and save 20% on orders over $10. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Offer valid through 12/31/24 at participating McDonald's. Valid once a day. Excludes tax. Must opt into rewards.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen. When you need auto repair, honesty and reliability are everything. Trust the home for honest, reliable service since 1970. St. Lucie Battery and Tire. St. Lucie Battery and Tire has all the tire and battery brands in stock for cars, trucks, RVs, marine, power sports, golf carts, everything. Major and minor service repairs, free tire pressure, battery checks. St. Lucie Battery and Tire, over 50 years in our community. And now with 18 full-service locations, West Palm to the Treasure Coast. Go to slbt.com. That's slbt.com.
College basketball is coming to Sunrise. Catch a thrilling doubleheader at the 2024 AutoNation Orange Bowl Basketball Classic. Be there at Amerant Bank Arena on Saturday, December 14th as the UCF Knights take on the Tulsa Golden Hurricane and the Florida State Seminoles battle the Tulane Green Wave. Tip-off is at 2 p.m. Bring the whole family for a pregame party on the plaza. One ticket, 2 college basketball matchups. Tickets start at just $20. Get yours now at orangebowl.org.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Yankees-Dodgers, Game 5 tonight, 8:08 p.m. You got Garrett Cole, Jack Flaherty on the mounds on either side. Last game in New York. The Yankees, of course, rumbling back, getting a game out of the series, getting a game over the Dodgers finally after suffering a 3-0 deficit. It looked to be dead in the water, but they showed some life yesterday in an 11-4 routing of the Dodgers. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Damian Perez helping us out back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Anthony Volpe was the big star of yesterday's match. Yesterday's game between the Yankees and the Dodgers. That bottom half of the lineup, Austin Wells, and of course Alex Verdugo. That was a game that was categorized by the role players that haven't necessarily done much this postseason, and this series showed up in a big way. Got Yankee Stadium rocking. It's Mike Rizzo's also 30th birthday, big 3-0, third decade in the mix. Mike Rizzo, are you a birthday present guy?
No. I'm not. I obviously, when you're little, you are. But now
if people give you a gift, are you weird about accepting it? Are you one of those people?
No, I'm not weird about accepting it. I just now I got to get that person a gift. I'm that guy. You know what I mean? If someone gets me a gift, I got to get that person a gift for their birthday. So I got to make a mental note or a note in my phone like, hey, so-and-so gave me a gift.
So in a lot of ways, you're like, forget it.
Exactly. Like my dad and, my mother, like my mother sent me some clothes.
Of course, that's different.
My dad, is going to be coming down next week. We're going to celebrate next week when the Browns are on the bye. But I'm more or less, on my birthday, Colin, I want to be with people that I like. I want to be with people that mean something to me. Being here with you, partner, is awesome. And our entire team here at ESPN West Palm, we've had a day. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better birthday. Being at a beautiful spot like the Boca Raton, being with a great team like GKB and ESPN West Palm, and also, everyone that works here for the Boca Raton too. The head golf professional David Clark, huge listener of the show, by the way. Huge listener of the show. David Clark has been great, and Andrew Ferrara. They've been great here. So appreciate everybody on my big 3-0. I just noticed, Colin, you're closer to 20. I'm 30.
You're well on your way to 60.
Buddy.
You're well on your way to 60.
Buddy, I'm 30.
You're well on your way to 60.
How did I become 30 years old? It's so funny when you ask your
closer to 40 than you are in your teens.
Colin asked me, did you feel any different this morning? I feel like I'm 25 still. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm 25 and I'm 30. So very weird one for me today.
Are you middle-aged?
Isn't that 40? No, middle age is like.
Hold on.
No.
Mike, there needs to be a conversation.
Listen. If I'm, and I hope to at least live until I'm 80. I always said if I live until.
Well, then middle age is probably 30 to 50, right?
40. Middle age would be 40. If I'm gonna die at 80, 40 would be.
We're talking about a
middle age.
20-year period, Mike.
Colin,
Mike, we might need.
You're scaring
me.
Me.
We might need to label
what do you think?
There.
So what it means?
This might be the denial phase. I understand.
No, dude, I am in denial. Don't get me wrong. I cannot believe I'm 30. Do I need to do anything different? Obviously,
what is something that 30-year-olds do that 20-year-olds don't necessarily think about?
The big thing for me is I've had serious girlfriends and I've met some great people, but the big thing with me is no wife, no kids. Colin,
you're 30. You're not in a serious relationship.
Yes, exactly. And
is there a realization process with that, or do you take that day by day?
I think it's obviously something I've had to think of. You're going to go through something soon, Colin, about 3 or 4 years called wedding season. Okay, I've been going through wedding season since I've been about 26 years old. A lot of my good friends, Colin, most of my good friends are married, kids on the way, and if they're not married, serious girlfriend that they're about to propose to. I am, myself and a couple of others, like I would say 2 of my other buddies, we're like the only ones that aren't serious. But here's the thing. In our business.
Yeah, so what's our perspective?
My perspective is, in what I'm doing right now in my career, I need to focus on myself. I need to focus on my side. I did radio in Peoria for 3 years, where I'm down here in West Palm, where I hope to be for a long time. Who knows? Maybe I meet someone down here in West Palm. But that time just hasn't came yet. And like I said, I've had serious relationships, and it's just, the moving around thing. The moving around thing hurts. The long distance and not being with each other, and it's a lot that comes with that. And I know you haven't necessarily been in a serious relationship, but
right.
the long distance stuff is like the thing that people can't
now
handle.
You're here and you're just getting settled in. I understand
Right.
it's the first few
Right.
months.
So I think
and you can't necessarily go searching, but
Right.
it's something you got to be cognizant of, right?
And let's be honest, Colin. I'm an acquired taste. I like sports. I like anime. I like video games. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm sober. So, there's that point as well. I found that when I went sober, it was kind of a little harder. Not hard. Harder is the wrong word, but
it's a different ballgame.
It is. Mingling with, going out and mingling when you're sober is a
lot of the
different game.
social scene is involving.
Yes. So when I decided to make the move to go sober almost 3.5 years ago now, it had to change my perspective on everything in that department, because for a lot of the times I was in social settings drinking, and it's not that I was finding love at the bar partner, but a lot of the times when I met,
it's not like that's the A1 place.
No, and it's awful, and it's awful. I don't want it. And I realize being sober, you don't meet your significant other at the bar. Okay, maybe you do, and if you have, fair play. But I think I had to change the game plan a little bit once that happened. But that'd probably be my biggest thing, Kyle, is that no serious girlfriend and no kids at 30. Because you got to realize, our parents, Bud, they were married. I mean, at least speaking for mine, my parents were married and already had my brother by the time, at 30. My dad was married, already had my brother, married to my mom, and a lot of my aunties and uncles too. And I know it's a different time now. You don't necessarily have to do that now, like how it was. The precedent was set back in the day for our parents, but you think about stuff like that. Where
did you think you would be at 30 when you were 20?
Where did I think? I definitely thought I'd be married and kids by now.
Really?
Yeah, honest to God. The whole job thing, Kyle, with my job, I've always been wherever life takes me. That's kind of how I've always operated. I always knew I wanted to be in broadcasting, and I always said I'm going to enjoy the ride. That's always been my MO. But as far as that part, definitely thought married and kids by 30. Because I always had serious girlfriends growing up. You know what I mean? And then I graduated from college and, let loose a little bit, to say the least. So it kind of got away from that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's been a very interesting journey to 30 for me, definitely, with the soberness, becoming sober, being happily sober, and all that.
Here's the 30 more. How's that?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully 50 more, bud.
No.
Like I said, don't you think 80 is – our content director, Brian Rowitz, is laughing. Don't you think 80 is like if you live till you're 80, isn't that great?
You want to die when you're 80?
No, it's not that I want to die. I want that to be the bare minimum, right? I at least want to get to 80. Like my grandmother, God bless her, my grandma Carol, who's listening, she's 93 years old. I knew my great grandparents, knew on both sides. So there's good blood there. So I'm just hoping I don't screw it up. You know what I mean? Be the outlier.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Fall down the stairs.
Exactly. There's some fluky stuff. But yeah, it's funny because, Colin, I always say you're wiser beyond your years, because you do not seem like a 22-year-old, bud. And thinking I'm 30 now and you're still 22, and partner, you're 23 in April, so you got a long, 6 months till a birthday for you.
Yeah.
So the age gap, partner, it seems like you're more my age than not. So
yeah, not hitting 30 anytime soon, which is a good thing. But
thanks, hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Live here at the Boca Raton golf outing at the Boca Raton. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Damian Perez helping us out behind the glass over at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. It's a great golf outing today, seeing all of our friends at the station and making sure everybody has a good time. Good weather so far. A couple rains in and out. A couple short monsoons, which is the South Florida way.
I described it as the heavens above taking a pitcher of water and just dumping on it every 30 minutes.
Very strange.
Because it would literally rain, folks, for 15 seconds. Like, you'd get drenched and then sunny again.
Yeah, very strange. But
Like a super
nonetheless,
soaker.
Nonetheless, a big highlight of that Yankee-Dodger Game 4 last night in the World Series was how the first few innings really played out. It was one of those strange games where there's a couple stories, whether it be the base running, whether it be Freeman getting another one, breaking the record in terms of straight World Series games, that he hits a home run, and he does it early. It's incredible how he does that. But these two jokes of fans that were sitting in the right field line, that when Mookie Betts on a foul ball went to go make a play on the ball, lifted his glove over into the stands area. And I understand fans make, freak last-second decisions to make a reach for the ball, but this was not that situation. Mookie Betts made a play on the ball, caught the ball, and then you had two fans essentially, grabbing both of his arms, one with the glove and one without, and prying it open, trying to get the ball out. The ball eventually got out. It was called fan interference. Of course, you got the out, and those two fans were removed from the premises. But it's been met that situation. Everybody is on the same page that it was just a wild situation to see live. But to that point, it was almost met with a polarizing reaction. Some people think, oh, this is hilarious, this is fun. Gronkowski came out and said, I love these two guys, they're my two buddies. One of them, I guess he went to college with. And there's some people that are like me in the sense of, like, these guys should not be stepping in the ballpark anytime soon at a major league or even a AAA level anytime soon. I think that is above and across the line well over on how you could kind of treat that situation. It's the classic New Yorkers, and of course they do it. And in New York fashion, they turn to the umpires that were right in the area, and it's almost like you could hear them through the broadcast. They're thinking, what, he made a play into us. We gotta, what were we supposed to do? He was right here. Like, that was essentially
it was Mookie Betts' fault.
Yeah, it's like he came into us. What do you want us to do? Like, it's one of those things. And that, to me, is a situation in which those guys should have been dumping drinks on that guy walking out of the ballpark. I think that is way too far.
No, they're heroes. It's Yankee fans.
They're
very heroes.
Strange.
So I did digging. All right, I did digging on this. So the Yankee fans that were ejected last night, Austin Capobianco, a season ticket holder, and his buddy John Peter. And the Yankees have announced that the Yankee fans have been banned from attending Game 5 of the World Series after the interference. Just Game 5. Just Game 5. Now, there's obviously outcry from Dodger fans and baseball fans alike, like you and me, to ban these bozos, from the friendly confines of any park in the MLB. But I'm interested to see how the Yankees handle this, because apparently this Austin Capobianco has been a long-time season ticket holder. And as you said, is now, I don't want to say getting immortalized, but if the Yankees, dare I say, come back and win this series somehow, being down 0-3.
That guy's going to be a part of it.
That guy's getting a statue.
Yeah.
That guy, Austin.
Be a part of it.
Colin, let me put my cheaters on. Austin Capobianco, he's going to get a statue.
Which is stupid. And you compare it to something like Steve Bartman of the Chicago Cub fan in 2003, basically lost his livelihood, was completely ostracized by everybody within the Cubs organization, within Major League Baseball, and all of his friends and family. It was basically all Steve Bartman's fault in that famous game in the NLCS in 2003 in Game 6 when the Cubs were basically 5 outs away from the pennant. They're first in 100 years. But Steve Bartman was somebody that was on the front page of every news cycle, and I understand it was a bigger spot. It had a lot to do with the actual game because, of course, that game led to an 8-inning or an 8-run montage that basically propelled the Marlins into that World Series that year. But Steve Bartman, it was somebody who, I know people kind of reminisce, and the revisionist history, people are a little nicer to Bartman. But for years, that guy was enemy number one when it comes to Chicago, when it comes to Major League Baseball fans. And I'm not saying these guys can be similar, but it has something to do with the fan interference. And these guys are getting involved, and all of a sudden they're part of the story. Right. And I don't think these guys should be shed in a positive light just because the Yankees got out of it. I think that is stupid.
I personally felt bad for Bartman. I felt bad for Bartman because of all the outcry, as you said. Now, during the game, it's like, what are you doing? You're a Cub fan. Why? Like, that was I feel like for Bartman, I'm going to try to defend Bartman a little bit. It was such a bang play. Like, those guys last night knew what they were doing. In my opinion, I think Bartman
acted on a whim.
Yeah, and those guys didn't act on a whim. Those guys knew what they were doing. Fantastic watch for you, and I'm sure you've probably already watched it. The 30 for 30 on Bartman is the best. And I don't blame him for not wanting, because like the Cubs tried to bring him back to honor him after the Cubs won 16 against the Guardians. The Cubs try to bring him back and honor him, and like the fans even reached out to him. He wants nothing to do with it. I don't blame him.
For 10 years, he was enemy number one.
I do not blame Bartman for wanting nothing to do with the Cubs and that. And every story you read, and in the 30-40, the guy was the biggest Cub fan ever. He'd be listening to the games on his little pocket walkie-talkie on the radio at his job, and like it's just a story where you absolutely felt gut-wrenching. These guys, Austin Capo Bianco, okay, he's
They're
just
losers. Let's call it like we see it. Those two guys are losers, and they should be treated as such. The fact that they, in some sense, only Yankee fans would get immortalized in that. You're right. Immortalized is a good word. Only Yankee fans would find a way to kind of shed these guys.
Seacat was defending him. Seacat defended him earlier during, theoretically speaking, 2-4.
Seacat, one of the biggest phonies I think I've ever met. The producer of this program, he's not on with us today because he's actually at the event with us. Let's take a look at Seacat for a second. You know what Seacat's doing tonight?
What's he doing?
So what's tonight? Tonight is, of course, Game 5 of the World Series, and Seacat was at Game 3. He was in the building at Yankee Stadium for Game 3 of the World Series in Yankee Stadium. Self-proclaimed. He told me he watched 45, 50 games this year, which I think is a load of crap.
We don't buy.
There's not a chance that Seacat watched 50 Yankee games out of 162 in the regular season. So that's number one. Number two, Seacat, you know what he's doing tonight?
What's he doing,
He's
Colin?
going to I'm going to try to do this properly, a dwarf micro wrestling event in Boca Raton. I think that's the right word. Hold
micro?
on.
Micro. It's not. We're not. Are we?
That is the.
We're not allowed
word.
to say dwarf. It's micro. It's micro.
That is the condition that the gentlemen who are involved in
dwarf?
It's
Dwarfism.
That's what they call it.
Dwarf.
It's dwarfism.
Okay.
There's other
I
words.
think micro. But
whatever. Point is, micro is so much more demeaning in my eyes.
Me too. That's why I'm laughing. I don't even mean to laugh.
Point is, there's a micro wrestling event right here in Boca Raton tonight, and apparently it was on the schedule and everybody's going.
Let me shed some light on that real quick. Tina, the lovely Tina, who I actually am very upset. I told her I can't. I gotta watch the World Series. You know, Colin.
This is a no-brainer.
I gotta watch.
Seacat is a Yankee fan.
I gotta watch the World Series.
You cannot be going and watching these little people go and wrestle each other in a bar or a strip club or wherever the hell it is.
Yeah, where is it? Is it at a strip club?
It's probably at a strip club. It's probably at a gentleman's club. And the fact that you're going to go to some torn-down, run-down micro wrestling event on a Wednesday night instead of watching your team play in the biggest game in the last 15 years for Yankee Stadium with your ace on the mound, I think is so phony. It is so phony. He deserves to be bashed for that.
I can't take it seriously.
I
can't take him seriously.
I can't take him seriously. I haven't taken him seriously once he told me he watched 100 games a year in the Yankees, but no chance. But he was at Game 3. This guy made the trip from South Florida to New York to go to a game. And I understand it was a surprise on his girlfriend. This guy got on a plane. He packed a bag to go see this team play, and he's missing this game to watch little people wrestle? Let's call it like we see it. That if ticket was probably $9, he's probably sitting there with, the $3 Coronas, and he's going to sit there in his Hawaiian shirt, and he's going to watch these little people throw each other around in some godforsaken gentleman's club in South Florida. That is the stupidest thing I think you could possibly spend your time and actually take the time to, pay money to go see this when your team is playing on national television in a Game 5 of the World Series with the best pitcher on the roster playing in the biggest game the Yankees have played in 15 years. 15 years. You have not played in a bigger game against the Dodgers than you will tonight. And Seacat, our phony, fraudulent, phony producer, I was going to go another word there, phony producer is going to do that, and instead he spent money to go. It's the type of thing you see on the flyer on the phone pole. That's the type of event that he is going to alongside Have You Seen My Cat? That is the type of event he is going to. What a waste of time. What a waste of absolute time. And that is why, if you want to be considered a big-time sports fan, if you actually want to be considered a Yankee fan in my book, you got to make sure that you're going somewhere to watch that game. You got to be making sure that you're sitting in front of a TV, whether in a bar, and you can't say you're going to watch. He said he was. You know what I asked him? I said, are you going to watch the game tonight? How are you going to watch it? Watching the micro wrestling people at the micro event. And he said, I'm going to have it on my phone. You're going to have it on your phone? You're not going to have it on your phone. You're at a micro wrestling event. You're not going to be watching the Yankee game on your phone. So save me that sob story about how you're still a big Yankee fan, but you're actually going to be at this micro wrestling event watching these little people throw each other around a ring. That is a waste of time. That is the stupidest thing I think I have ever heard in my entire life. That's why I can't take C-Cat seriously. And same thing with Theo. Theo hosts the. I understand he's not a Yankee fan. Don't think Theo's not included in this as well. Theo should not only be forcing him to go watch a game, Theo should not be going to this micro event either. The fact that anybody's going, I think, is stupid. We work at a radio station that is an ESPN. Nobody should be going to this event. There's the Game 5 of the World Series tonight, but C-Cat being the Yankee fan of the bunch, and Theo, theoretically speaking, who has a show 2 to 4, who's going to have to bring up this game. So I hope that tomorrow, when the Yankees win, or if the Yankees win, I hope this is the game of the year. I hope this is the best game I've ever watched yesterday of all time at Yankee Stadium tonight, Game 5, because I hope it is back and forth. I hope Cole pitches a gem, and I hope that C-Cat misses every second of it. In this gentleman's club, there's definitely no Wi-Fi. There's definitely no phone service.
Is there an outlet?
There's definitely no outlet because you're in some airplane hangar with some makeshift wrestling ring with all these little people with the masks. Because I know he gets a kick out of the wrestling, and that's fine. You're allowed to be a fan. I get that. But the idea that you're going to go to something live instead of watch your Yankees play, it's stupid. I cannot take you seriously. You are such a fraud. It is unbelievable how you can sit here and call yourself a big-time sports fan when that is what that is how you're spending your time and money. I'm going to have it on my phone. You're not going to have it on your phone. If you have it on your phone, you're not going to be paying attention because there's going to be little people flying around above you. You can't do it. Colin, it's not going to happen.
Colin, I can't breathe.
It's not going to happen.
Colin, I cannot breathe. Folks, this is hang on, like Tina's in the background. This is a work function. This is a work outing that Tina set up. So the wonderful Tina in the Wild set up a work outing to watch micro wrestling. Okay, micro wrestling. I'm so sorry, folks. Micro wrestling. Tina set it up, all right? I honest to God felt bad telling Tina, like, hey, I didn't. There's a World Series coming on.
I was walking out of the gym this morning. It was 7:30 in the morning.
I love your response.
Tina texts us a flyer of this micro wrestling with nothing else. She sends us a complete flyer with something else about the micro wrestling. Tina's going to join us in just a second. She's getting her mic set up. So Christina Costanza decides to text me and Mike Rizzo a flyer of this micro wrestling event. This is at the break of dawn. And Tina gets up at 4 in the morning to run. I understand that. So I understand she's up and moving, but this is on her mind. She sends us this and nothing else. Are you guys coming tonight? Coming to what? We'd like to welcome into Christina Costanza to Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Tina, you're the one who orchestrated this stupid event, but you're going to be going tonight. Apparently you're all stoked. How about you tell us about it and how you managed to convince the Yankee fan of the bunch to go?
That too, and then dwarf or micro?
It's micro. It's a micro event.
Okay,
so first, you
I can't breathe, by the way.
I can't either. I was just peeing my pants listening to Colin. Well, here, you got a few details wrong, first off. Theo will be actually attending the Miami Heat game tonight, so at least he is going to a sporting event.
Even more phony, in my opinion.
Heat Hornets, whatever it is. I understand it's his buddy's birthday.
Yeah. Actually, no, that is phony.
There's a line. You're right. All right, so Theo's off the hook.
So I did help orchestrate this event, but this was because we.
Where did you see this?
So I was told
on
about
a flyer underneath the highway. Where did you find this flyer?
I was told about this event because Brian McLovin-Rowitz, who used to be on the Evan Cohen show, who's been on the air.
It's about GKW.
Yes, GKW.
Hang on, let me plug Brian. GKW. He got a lot of great guests for AEW in Cleveland over tonight. He got a lot of guests. Go tune into GKW.
Yes. So Brian Rowitz loves wrestling, and we had also talked about this event that it was coming up. We've known about this event for months, and it just ended up being that this event was on the same day that we were already going to be in Boca at the Boca Raton
So
Bowl
if we didn't have
outing.
if we didn't have this event in
Tina,
South Florida, you still would have.
We probably wouldn't have.
So,
No, we
Tina,
probably wouldn't have gone.
have you
It just
seen-
kind of like worked out that we were already in Boca. None of us live close to Boca, but we're like, oh, we're already in Boca. Like, let's go to this event. And I have been to a micro wrestling event before, and it was entertaining and fun. And I would go to one
that's
again.
what I was going to ask. She's
And
been to
so-
the high flying micro, event before.
Yes, I would recommend going. And so it just worked out that while we were already in Boca, there was this event. And yesterday was Brian Rhodes' birthday. So it ended up being a perfect just day of like, let's celebrate Brian and let's go to this micro wrestling event. And listen to this. Listen, multiple teammates already knew about this event. I invited y'all this morning because we were trying to get, like, we didn't know how many tickets were available. So I was like, hey.
So we were the odd man out.
Yeah, we were. Naturally.
Naturally.
I would have said no before you
You didn't
brought
even
it
give
up.
me an answer, actually. You just didn't respond to my text.
No. He responded. I'm going to pull it up because it's hysterical.
Yeah.
While I do that, though, do you forgive me for not going?
Yes, I forgive you.
You forgive me because, like, I
Forgive
got to watch the World Series.
Forgive what? There's nothing to forgive. It's a micro wrestling event in some gentleman's club inside Boca Raton.
It's not like
what do you mean I don't need to apologize for not wanting to go to that? The World Series is tonight.
I don't want to say, I don't even really know exactly what it's like. I think an old movie theater. I don't really know
An
what
old
it is.
movie theater?
It's not a gentleman's club, though, where this event is at.
It's even worse. It's at an old movie theater.
I could be wrong. I've never been to this place before.
It's not. All right, hang on. I got the text pulled up. Tina sent.
What time of the morning?
Hang on. This was 7:05 in the morning. By the way, this was 7:05 in the morning.
It could have been way earlier, and I waited.
Tina, and honestly, Tina, you were so nice. She goes, Riz, happy birthday. 30 is the new 25. And then she goes, she explained to us the micro wrestling event. She says, long story short, if you plan on going to the wrestling, I'd bring a shirt after the outing to change. Colin responds with just 5 question marks. And then he goes, looking for dwarf wrestling events at the break of dawn. I laughed so hard at that. You don't know how hard I laughed at that this morning.
It's
so
true.
Tina said.
What person? I almost said, Tina, we got to get you checked out. I don't know what type of stuff.
Tina sends all the information and she's so pumped up. The link. Colin responds with 4 question marks, and then he goes looking for dwarf wrestling events at the break of dawn. I laughed so hard.
Tina,
I laughed so hard.
We got to get to break here, but Tina, last comment from here.
I can't breathe.
So how many people are going to this?
I don't really know anymore. Like, I feel like the word has spread throughout the team. Like, I just was inviting everyone who else was invited. Like, I was invite people, whatever.
You invited the Expendables. Mike
I invited y'all, to see if you could make it. I will
Taxi
say
Squad.
though, I am shocked Seacat's going. I would have.
Okay, so you think it's fraudulent? It's fraudulent.
No, I'm happy he's going. He's also super into wrestling and stuff.
It's phony.
Into wrestling,
He's
there's
wearing
nothing.
He's
these
wearing
guys
a shirt.
these guys are third vet. It's just not John Cena's not going to be there.
Who was the guy you were pumped up to see in
Randy
Lauderdale?
Orton. He's not Randy Orton. Go ahead.
He's actually too. He told us yesterday he's going to wear a wrestling shirt to this event.
So he's not
planned to be at this event.
All right, before we get to the break, I quickly got to ask: more fraudulent, bozo Yankee fan ripping the ball out of Mookie Betts, or Christian Cat going to see dwarfs wrestle tonight and not watch the World Series? Micro wrestlers tonight and not watch the World Series.
At least those 2 phonies were at the game and watching the game. They didn't get to watch the end of it, but they were at the game. And I know C-Cat. This is a guy who went to Game 3.
I've also lost him, by the way, C-Cat.
Good. Hopefully we don't find him. I can't take him seriously. I don't want to see him right now. What a stupid.
I hope y'all can make the next team outing we do.
Asinine, complete disgrace of a decision he made going to a micro wrestling event over watching his Yankees play in the World Series.
Really bothers us. Honestly.
Oh my God, I cannot
really
take him seriously. Nonetheless, it's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. We'll do something else next. Stick around. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-FREE. Listen, if you were in an accident, car accident, truck accident, slip and fall, trip and fall, injured on the job, workers' comp issues, call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. They will fight for you. They do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation that you know that you deserve. Do not deal with the insurance companies on your own. That's impossible. They make it as such. Anajar and Levine will help you to take back control of your life. Again, you'll always talk about your case with an actual attorney. They answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help you to take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Call Anajar and Levine, my accident attorneys. Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Take back control of your life.
VIP experiences await at South Florida's only PGA Tour event. The Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches is upping the golf game February 27th through March 2nd with new luxury hospitality venues. Host colleagues and clients at the Shoreline Suites. Mingle with friends and family in the 1909 Terrace. Or treat yourself to the ultimate VIP week at the Yellow Flamingo Club. Limited spots remain. Inquire now at thecognizantclassic.com.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon. You get the idea. And now, get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
It's ESPN 106.3, your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Dolphins, Miami Hurricanes, and all of the biggest football matchups throughout the week. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned by gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Rolling on here, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3, live from the Boca Raton Bowl golf outing at the Boca Raton right here in South Florida. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo on his 30th birthday. Damian Press helping us out on the ones and twos. Back at the City Place Studios in West Palm Beach. Our usual producer, Christian Catt, is not with us. He is running around this large resort somewhere enjoying the event, but he is going to be, I guess, enjoying himself even further tonight because he is going as a let's preface this. This guy is a self-proclaimed big Yankee fan, and he is not going to, he's going to a micro wrestling, quote, I'll say it properly, a micro wrestling event in an abandoned movie theater tonight. And apparently the reasoning that this was planned all along. I want to get people's thoughts on this. We'll open up the phone lines. 888-760-3776. That's 888-760-3776. I just want to get some exterior opinions on why, if you think so, that this would be remotely worth it for CCAT as a self-proclaimed Yankee fan, or if you agree with us that this is the most fraudulent, phony, disgraceful type of decision you can make as an actual sports fan and as somebody who is on air and required to talk about these things. And his also line of reasoning was he is going to have the game on his phone.
They're going to be breaking down the micro wrestling. They're going to be breaking down Tina, you got names for me? They're going to be breaking down the high flyer Sebastian or whoever it may be. Now, my question is, Colin, is this in a parking lot, abandoned movie theater, gentleman's club?
This is you're not.
It's definitely not here.
You're not selling out the Prudential Center. So let's just put it out. This is not necessarily. It's a sold-out show.
For what?
Folding chairs in a parking lot, and they sold it out. This is stupid.
I am interested to hear if there are callers out there. Like, I am the firm believer. If my team's playing in the playoffs, like I'm watching, if my team, even if it's for football, I'll take it a step further. If the Buckeyes are playing, I'm watching the whole game. I'm watching every snap of the Ohio State game. If the Browns are playing, I'm watching every snap of the Browns game. Now, I obviously with baseball and the Guardians.
It'd be different if the Browns are 1-8 and you're playing a meaningless game. That's another thing.
Yeah,
but this is the worst.
I'm going to be realistic with you, Colin. I try to watch 30 to 35 Guardian games. All right, 30 to 35. I'm always box score checking. I have the MLB at bat app. I'm able to watch remotely. Brother, there's no way.
It's a great app.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. There's no way I watched 50 Guardian games this year. There's no way I watched 45 Guardian games.
I maybe watched 20 Athletics games.
Like 30 is like the good number for me. My brother and I always say, if we watch 30 of the games, it's money well spent. And, more often than not, the Guards are in the playoffs, so, we're tuning in. Colin, I can't, what got you going, I said, Colin, I can't take him seriously. I really can't, though. I cannot take someone seriously. If you're a big-time sports fan, if you're, a big-time Yankee fan, to go and watch micro wrestling and not watch your team, that's very fraudulent to me. And then I understand he's probably trying to be a good teammate. I'll even try to defend Seacat a little bit. He's probably trying to be a good teammate.
I don't want to hear this, Mike. I don't want to hear this.
You don't want to hear it at all?
He is not a good – this is not being a good teammate, right? Would you agree with that? This should be 100% the wrong move.
Is he trying to be a personality? Is he trying to go to this place and be one of the guys in the crowd to where he might get invited on the ring? Is he going to get invited on the ring?
So there's that. He does like this.
He likes the wrestling. We already know he's an AEW fan. We know he's a WWE. By the way, Seacat, a great person to go to a WWE match with. Had a great time with him. But I'm sorry, man. If you're a diehard Yankee fan, you're locked into every pitch tonight. And, Colin, the season could end tonight. The season could end tonight.
It's the most important game in Yankee Stadium in 15 years. The most important game in Yankee Stadium in 15 years. Tonight, 8:08.
Cole on the mound.
And you're going to an abandoned – this is not like you're seeing your childhood hero.
Maybe he looks up to the –
If one of you dwarf micro wrestlers are listening, call in 888-760-3776. Try to rationalize this to me because this is our producer that is not with us, so I don't necessarily want to bash him here when he can't defend himself too much.
Too late, partner.
A little late for that. But I don't want to rip into him too much. But I'm trying to make sense of how idiotic and fraudulent the decision-making process is. This is the dumbest thing. I understand if you're going to some giant event, once-in-a-lifetime type of thing.
I would understand WWE.
I wouldn't. I still would.
You wouldn't?
A regular,
okay.
It was, the biggest WWE match of all time.
But you know how big of a fans those people, actually not those people, I'm sorry, how big of a fans WWE people are.
Those people. Those people? Those people. Those people?
I'm not one of them.
Seacat is one of those people. On your birthday, you're lucky it's your birthday. Just categorize them as those people. They're
Colin, I'm not.
They're a group.
Colin, I'm not. Those people.
You just open up the crowd. They're going to come to you with pitchforks. They show up, too. Those wrestling fans.
They don't leave either.
They don't leave. They show up and they don't leave. They'll stay there all night.
I'm sorry. I did not mean that. I'm just not a wrestling person, hence why I said that. Colin, that's more important to them than anything. Maybe wrestling is more important than baseball. I can't even say that. I can't even seriously say that.
You're talking about wrestling? Hold on a second. Let me get something straight. If you're the diehard WWE and you got the John Cena fat head in your bedroom, that might be one thing. But this is not necessary. You're not seeing Shawn Michaels and Triple H. You're not seeing those people. You're not seeing childhood heroes that people idolize. You're seeing they travel in a van and they come to this abandoned event space where they rent it out for $200 on the hour, and they're putting on an event with folding chairs and a bunch of mattresses in the center.
How much quid do you think they're clearing tonight on these shows?
I have no idea because they probably spent. they probably didn't even rent the space. They probably just found an abandoned lot.
Maybe that's a Brian question. How much quid one of these events they net?
Brian will be there, so maybe Brian can find maybe the promoter and he can get a sense of the financials behind this because this is stupid. This is stupid. And listen, if you have any thoughts on the matter and you want to defend him to us, if you're a big-time wrestling fan and you think it's worth it, if you're a Yankee fan,
but you have to understand the context too. If you call in, you must understand the context. Seacat is is it self-proclaimed Yankee fan?
He was at Game 3. He was at Game 3 at Yankee Stadium. He flew from here to Yankee Stadium, and his lovely girlfriend probably spent a fortune on tickets to make sure he could be in the building. And and you want to go there and talk about how great the event was and make a whole thing out of it. Here he is. Grab a mic. C-Cat's walking in right now. Our producer, who's not with us today, he was on theoretically speaking earlier.
He looks piping hot.
So maybe you caught wind of what's going on. But we have a problem with how you handled yourself with in terms of your decision-making process behind going to – I'll say this properly, a micro wrestling event. This is not necessarily, you're not going to the Masters. Let's put it this way.
Wait, that's what we're talking about?
We're talking about you going to a micro wrestling thing tonight when there's Game 5 of the World Series and your team is playing in the most important game in the last 15 years in that stadium. How about you try to rationalize that for me?
It's the 24th century, so we agree that I have a phone. And I can watch the game at the same time as I enjoy. I'll come between you fellas.
Come between. Yeah, I'm trying to get him in between on the picture. So he's going phone card. No matter what, he's going to have this on, C-Cat. No matter what, he's going to have the game on, and he's going to be able to watch. He said, 2024, Colin, he's going to be able to watch the game.
Why are you even going? All right, so I don't believe that you're going to watch a second of this on your phone during the actual event because you're going to be in an abandoned movie theater.
Is this at a gentleman's club?
I don't know where it is.
So you don't even know where it is. You don't have answers. You have no answers in terms of how you're going to access the internet. And so to speak, I know everywhere kind of has internet, but if you're in like some underpass and there's and that's where the event is, you're not going to be able to get the Yankee game on. And even if I would, let's buy into this for a second. Even if you were to stream the Yankee game live from this micro wrestling event, there is not a chance that you are actually going to be paying attention to that game. If that's the case, then why even go? Why are you going to choose one or the other? You cannot do both.
Is this in a cornfield in a ring? Like, are they just putting their car lights on and then they're jumping in a ring?
Have you considered that my direct boss is the birthday? Have you considered that?
His birthday was yesterday, though.
This is a birthday celebration.
It's a birthday celebration?
It's hashtag Rizzo Day.
You got nothing, dude. You're wrong here. You were at Game 3. You were in the building. You flew. You got on an airplane to get to a game, to get to Game 3 at Yankee Stadium, and you were going to watch a bunch of high-flying micro people jump around on mattresses for $20. A $20 ticket, and you're going to be doing that instead of watching the Yankees play in the biggest game they've played in 15 years. That, to me, I cannot. It is hard. You are such a phony for that.
A phony of what? A phony what?
Of being a Yankee fan.
For surpassing.
If I'm a phony Yankee fan, but not a phony friend, you know what? That's my cross to bear.
This is a friend thing?
Yes, this is a friend.
Brian. This has nothing to do with Brian.
Yes, it's being a friend. It is absolutely being a friend. You think I want to miss the World Series?
If Brian wouldn't care. I'm about to get. We're running out of microphones, guys. Okay, Brian wouldn't care if C-Cat.
This is not you being a good friend to Brian. This is you not caring about the Yankees and you wanting to watch a bunch of tiny people with these random masks that nobody knows. And this is not like you're seeing your childhood hero. And I know you're a wrestling fan, so I know there's a history to that.
Do you look up to the?
Do you know a single soul that is going to be there tonight in terms of the on wrestling?
I don't. You're questioning my Yankee fandom. When I spend 2 hours defending those Yankee fans that were sitting right on the field.
Those two giant losers. Of course you love them.
Those two outstanding today
two of the biggest losers I've ever seen in a ballpark.
You've never looked in the mirror if that's the case, because they are great people.
Great people. C-Cat, they darn near punch Mookie Betts in the face.
Trying to bring him into the stands with them, and then they're acting like, he came to us. What are we supposed to be doing here? This is so stupid. You cannot call yourself a Yankee fan, and I can't believe you. It's worse if you were not even paying attention to the World Series. You were at Game 3. You were in the building for Game 3, and you're going to a micro wrestling event. I don't care if this is 6 weeks in.
It's hard sacrifice that I'm making.
6 weeks.
I don't have the viewing experience I want for World Series Game 5.
You're not going to be watching it. You're not going to have it on.
All right. Can I butt in here? C-Cat, you know I love you. We've had our differences with the Guards and the Yankees. I had a bad take. It is what it is. It was a bad take. But at the end of the day, this is a bad look. This is a bad look to
just because I want to support my
after the Yankees won last night. After the Yankees won last night, did you even consider not going?
No.
You knew you were going regardless.
When I tell someone I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. I'm not a flake. I'm a guy who's been afflicted with friends canceling because maybe I'm not that popular. Maybe I'm not the belle of the ball.
There's
maybe
other people
I'm expendable.
going. There's other people going.
Brian, there are other people confirmed
Hold on, this has
going with
nothing
you.
to do with Brian. Brian's just he's trying to set us up here. Brian is just going. Brian is just going as a fan. Brian got his Publix cookies yesterday, and he's a happy soul. That's why Brian is a happy camper. His birthday went well. There is let's close the book on Brian's birthday. Today is Mike's birthday. That's another story. But from Seacat to sit here and tell me that he is trying to be a good friend by going to some abandoned parking lot and watching these little people throw themselves around in a tiny ring, that for $20 ticket instead of watching the Yankees play their most important game.
Have you also considered?
What have I not considered?
That the very man that we're celebrating tonight was the very man that signed off on allowing me to go to World Series Game 3. Because if work says you can't go,
you're not
you
celebrating
can't go.
Brian. We just established this. You're not celebrating Brian.
Let me come in again.
No offense, Brian.
Brian, like we gotta see. You gotta stop following up because Brian don't care. Brian just.
I asked Brian yesterday. Brian, how do you celebrate your birthday? He said, "Give me some Publix cookies, and I'm a happy camper." That's exactly what happened.
I'm with if the Guardians were playing, if the Guardians were playing the World Series and it was 6 o'clock, I'd look at Steph and our GM Stephanie Pritz. I go, Steph, can I leave at 5:30? I want to be home for the game. All right.
Yeah.
That would probably be my conversation. I wouldn't be going to micro wrestling. You know what I mean? I'd be make sure I'm home, hat on, jersey on, pretending like I'm in the building. Okay, I would not.
And the nerve,
with all due respect, I would not be at micro wrestling.
Completely agree.
Would not be at micro wrestling.
And the nerve to sit here and initially tell me, you told me earlier that I'm going to have it on my phone.
Yeah,
you're going to have it on
phony.
your phone.
I can't take that serious.
I'm going to be
it's so stupid.
I can't take that.
What, you're going to be watching both? There's going to be like confetti and the ring girls.
They're high flyers.
They probably got the beach balls that they probably throw around. They're probably going to have that. I don't even know the theatrics that an event like this is going to put on, but it's going to be pretty raunchy and heinous.
So you're speaking out of turn here.
Yeah, hang on. I do have to say, the picture that Tina sent us, they're flipping me off. The guys in the picture that Tina sent us, they were literally giving me the middle finger.
You know, she sent us that flyer at basically 6:45 in the morning.
Oh, so you're not going?
No. I don't even know if you could pay me. I don't even know if you could pay me to go to that. I don't care if I had nothing else to do. I like that. That is so.
God.
What? All right, yeah, sounds good. Yeah. We'll talk about that.
I don't understand how you're not taking. This is not Brian's birthday. This is not a Brian's birthday thing.
Yeah, he's trying to guilt trip us into like not going and being a bad.
This is you being a phony. Phony.
Sometimes you over-deliver for a boss, and I'm doing that. Some people aren't really cut out for that, and maybe that I'm sitting next to two guys who aren't cut up for over-delivering for their boss, and that's okay.
Listen,
sometimes not everyone's a culture fit at ESPN West Palm, but I happen to be one of those people, so I'm making sacrifices as a Yankee fan. Yes, I'm as big as a Yankees fan as there is.
No, you're not. No, you are not.
Hang on, Steph,
no, you are not.
Steph, you approve of
No, you are not. You are not the biggest Yankee fan you could find. You are not even. I don't even know if I consider you a Yankee fan anymore. There is no chance in my book for the rest of our days that you are a Yankee fan to me. There is no way. I don't care how many games you go to. I don't know how many jerseys you buy. I don't care how many games you watch. From now on, you are no longer a Yankee fan. Pick a new team. I am done hearing about you and how much you love the Yankees and how you watch 100 games a year, because that is not the case, and you are not a Yankee fan. Not in my book. Forget it. You are going to a wrestling event. You are a micro wrestling fan. Enjoy the guys jumping around on the trampolines and all the garbage. Enjoy that, all right? Because that's your thing now. It's not the Yankees. All right, so set that straight.
I'm going to watch the first 5 innings on my phone. I'm going to watch the end of the game at a local Duffy's. So you can kiss my rear end. That's going to be a great night for me, be a great night for our boss, because I love where I work, I love where I live, and I'm going to enjoy that.
High flying. We got to go.
Take a break.
It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
ESPN West Palm is highlighting the best performance of the week, presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Every week, a different team will be featured across ESPN 106.3 and ESPN West Palm Play. The winning performance receives $500, courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Do you know a team, player, or school with a killer performance? Nominate them by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
Is your credit on life support? Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Local bank representatives will be on site to grant special approval to consumers who meet certain minimum criteria. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach wants to approve you so you could drive home your new Kia today. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Hello, is this thing on? I repeat, Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic wants to approve you for a new Kia today. So what are you waiting for? Don't miss the credit clinic today and tomorrow at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or go online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia.
Credit affects down payment and approval term.
Hi, this is Kevin Dalton, owner of the Unlimited Auto Wash. You'll love our daily specials. With our loyalty card, you can save up to $5 off any wash on Mondays if you're a guy, Wednesdays for the ladies, and seniors 55 and older every Thursday. And Tuesday is Double Stamp Tuesday. With 6 locations, there's an Unlimited Auto Wash near you. Plus, we have unlimited monthly plans that offer inside and out washes with Tire Shine for just $44.95 a month. Visit unlimitautowashclub.com or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO for a location near you.
Hey, it's Tina. The Pickleball Club of St. Lucie West is now open. Join an amazing club that offers indoor championship quality courts and premium amenities that enhance your game. Whether you're new to pickleball, like me, or an experienced player, young or old, the Pickleball Club's world-class experience is more than just a game. It's a community where you can play, dine, and make new friends. Memberships are now available. Visit thepickleballclub.com for more information and to schedule your tour today.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to helping the customers and the communities they serve move forward financially. See how they can make a difference for you at PNC.com.
Hey, it's your boy JC. Did the New York Jets just decide Aaron Rodgers' future for him? Find out on today's brand new episode of Questionable Call with Josh Cohen, exclusively on YouTube. Subscribe now on YouTube. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Brand new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections. Election Day is November 5th. In Palm Beach County, eligible voters can vote during early voting from October 21st through November 3rd at any early voting location. Visit votepalmbeach.gov to find a location, check wait times, and skip the line by making an appointment ahead of time. Don't forget to bring your photo and signature ID. We can't wait to see you at the polls. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections Office.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup.
lineup.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Rolling on here from the Boca Raton Bowl golf outing at the Boca Raton right here in South Florida. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo on his 30th birthday. Damian Press helping us out on the ones and twos back at the City Place Studios in West Palm Beach. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Start your day off with a bang. Lord knows we did at this event. It's been an absolute blast. Weather's been good. The food has been off the chain, as good as it gets. All of our partners having a great time here at the Boca Raton. Start your day off with a bang, because I do as well. Before I ate all this food, I had to make sure I actually got a sweat in and started my day off with a win. I did that at F45. F45 is the ultimate gym for trying to get a functional side of you really working. It's not the traditional Olympic lifts that I was so used to for years. It's a group setting, coach setting, fun setting of working out. F45, they have locations right in Wellington, Palm Beach Gardens, and downtown West Palm Beach. 45 minutes in and out. Utilizes the stretching, never the same workout twice. I love all the coaches. There's a social scene as well. You get to meet a bunch of people, like-minded, fitness-minded individuals. F45 is the place to start your day off with a bang. We love it. We have a great time there. That is F45. Go check out their Instagram, F45, downtown West Palm Beach. So a big topic of discussion was how Anthony Richardson, that whole situation was handled with Shane Steichen and the Indianapolis Colts in benching him. Of course, Anthony Richardson, 22 years old, the 4th overall pick, basically a year and a half ago, had started essentially 10 games, and they are now moving on with Flacco for the entire season. And so this has sparked a discussion. We talked about it yesterday, how we both thought unanimously it was really the right move.
Correct.
To move on from Richardson. But this has sparked a debate and sort of an interesting discussion about how the quarterback position in the NFL is now being handled. And there's an argument to be had, but people like Mel Kiper, of course, a draft analyst, has brought up the fact that the developmental side of how the NFL handles its quarterbacks is flawed. And in the case of that, he goes on to argue about how these college quarterbacks, with the money you could possibly be making on the NIL side of things, and that now that is a medium in where you could stay and hang around,
right,
not only until you're ready and developed, you're experienced enough, but you're also making money. So you go on down the list. Anthony Richardson, 22, benched. Bryce Young was benched at 23 years old. Trey Lance, benched. Justin Fields was benched. Will Levis, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett. Go down the line. There's a number of quarterbacks that were young, and I wouldn't say we're given
highly touted too. Kyle.
Highly touted first-round picks. Wasn't given a huge shot, but nonetheless, we're given a shot. Didn't turn out close to right along immediately. And now this prompts the debate.
Agreed.
Is there a problem with how the NFL develops its quarterbacks?
I think, and we've talked about this, Colin, and we've disagreed on this. I think if you're a team that drafts a quarterback number 1 overall, and you don't have anything worth of, you don't have a Joe Flacco, you don't have a Jameis Winston, I think the players should start. If you're taking a guy in the first round, I think it's fair play to start that quarterback. The more I see the instances of players failing, the more I'm starting to come off of that a little bit. But what I think needs to happen, I think some of these teams that are drafting these quarterbacks high, some of these scouts, like I'm not blaming Mel. I love Mel Kiper, one of my favorite people in the business. I think we need to come off the quarterbacks in the first round. Like, how many times have we seen quarterbacks that get hyped up to be the next
You're talking
great
about the mid-round picks?
Colin, I'm talking
or the mid-first round picks?
I'm talking in general. Like the scouts and whatever. They're wrong. They're wrong too much. I feel like too many times, like you went through the list.
Could you add to that and say teams reach too much?
I think that, like, I appreciate the help.
There's not quarterbacks that great quarterbacks come out each year. That's the case.
And I understand agents and scouts or who agents are trying to play their players up, get the most money, get the guaranteed first-round money. I understand that. But at the same time, the teams maybe do their due diligence when they draft a quarterback instead of, we need one, here we go. Too many times I've seen first-round quarterbacks just fall right on their face. I'm with you in the sense of you need to do something. Something needs to change on this.
Is there a problem?
I don't think, if anything, I know I've been on the side of NIL is a problem. Like, I think we need to fix NIL. I don't think anyone can argue that. But something that it's going to maybe fix is this situation. Quarterbacks are going to be able to make $5 million a year at a school and stick around and maybe sharpen and polish their skills. I blame the teams. I blame the scouts. And I blame just the quarterback desperateness in the NFL. And I'm a Brown fan. That's all I've known my whole life. That's all I've known my whole life of being desperate and looking for quarterbacks. So I think the whole system needs to change. Scouts, teams, the overblownness of quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson was
Are they not giving these guys as long of a leash?
I know I'm monologuing here. Last thing, Anthony Richardson wasn't even a projected first-round pick. And then all of a sudden he has a great combine because the nerds at the combine.
April risers, yes.
The nerds at the combine, okay, think he's the next greatest thing because he's got a great 40 and he can jump out the gym. It doesn't mean he can play the position. So that's my problem with this. I know I went all over the place there.
Now, for the point to dial it in and boil it down, is it on more of the NFL's problem or the college's problem that there is an issue now with young quarterbacks being able to come in and turn out pretty quickly? Is there a problem on the NFL side of things? Both? Where does this boil down to?
I think it's the NFL side because in college, partner, it's a different game in college. It's such
it's the program's job.
Especially defensively.
Win games. Yeah,
right.
That's all that matters.
It's like everyone kind of knocks my Buckeyes, Colin, because our quarterbacks don't pan out. Braxton Miller was one of the best college quarterbacks I've ever seen. Dwayne Haskins threw for 62 college touchdowns. Justin Fields was incredible. C.J. Stroud, I know he's panned out, was incredible. It's different, man. It's different, and that's why, more or less, I'm blaming the scouts and the people that look at these guys and blast these guys on the board because they have the good physicalities. Can they play the position? There needs to be a conversation if they can play the position in the pros. The defense is faster. You're going to get double high safety. You're going to have to check down. Look at what the quarterback position has turned into in the NFL this year. We're not seeing a lot of touchdowns. We're not seeing a lot of yards. You have to hit the check down, and you have to live to fight another day. Anthony Richardson, one of the big reasons he got benched, Colin, he wasn't living to live the next day. He was trying to make that pass downfield. He was trying to force it into triple coverage. There needs to be a whole overhaul on the quarterback position in the NFL and how it's developed because of teams like my Browns, because of teams like the Panthers, because of teams that have just gone quarterback. Your Jags before Trevor Lawrence, because teams that have gone quarterback to quarterback to quarterback and just have not had it worked out. And that's when the mistakes come because you're desperate. And everyone's telling you need a franchise quarterback. That's why I'm scared to death that the Browns are going to be drafting a quarterback.
And it's a problem because everybody
and you're going to want to play them.
Everybody thinks that quarterbacks are supposed to come in and everything's supposed to fix.
Correct, and I expect them to play.
So that's a two-side prong right there. Some of these guys can't play because they're not ready. So there's that argument. And then some of these guys do play and they're not ready, and all of a sudden they stink. So it's almost a two-sided sword.
But you agree with me, Colin, that why are these quarterbacks blasting up the rankings? How many times have we seen that not work out?
That's never going to change because it's the most, like you said, it's the most important position on the field.
It's a problem,
It's the most, I agree. It's the most important position on the field, and I think past successes, all people think about is who's going to be the next Josh Allen, who's going to be the next Lamar Jackson that you could get in the late, mid-first round that is going to be an immediate difference maker. Who's going to be that Patrick Mahomes, that high upside athletic prowess quarterback that is going to turn into a Hall of Famer? Who is that going to be? I think that's just where teams run away with it, and if you don't have a quarterback, you're dead. That's the NFL. You could not have an offensive line and maybe figure it out. You could not have receivers and figure it out. You could not have a defense and somewhat figure it out. But if you don't have a quarterback, you're likely dead meat.
In one of our better conversations we've had this week, all right, we got fired up about what I said, how I think the Rams and Stafford, how I think Stafford's old and maybe the Rams need to start looking towards the future. What I more or less, the point I tried making there, you need these teams to turn into the Packers, right? But the Packers are the Packers because they've been able to have successful quarterbacks and develop these teams. In a perfect world, all right, everyone is the Packers, and the quarterback position, it doesn't have as much turmoil as it's having right now. Go through that list for me again. Bryce Young, Justin Fields.
Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Will Levis, Zach Wilson. Mac Jones.
And those guys made money in the first round, and they're smart guys. They're going to be all right. But like Colin, I don't want to say one-hit wonders. They're one-draft wonders. How about that? They're first-round draft wonders. Busts that haven't panned out because of the system. And I want to see teams like my Browns and teams that are in the gutter of the quarterback position. So what do you want them to do?
Just not draft quarterbacks in the first round? What is that going to fix? They still need to play. So
is it coaching? A lot of it's coaching.
A lot of it is system. There's no doubt. There's a lot of it is situation and system. That is not Anthony Richardson's situation. That is not his coaching thing, and that is not a team thing because that team is pretty solid and they have a good coaching staff.
Are we too quick as fans to say that guy's a bum?
I think it boils down to these guys play too early. I think that these guys are not ready coming out.
Young, foregone. A lot of those guys foregone their senior year.
Yeah, they are not ready. Whether it is spend another year in college or it is go to the NFL and don't play immediately, they're more prepared. The NFL is a different beast, and there's a lot of young quarterbacks. I understand guys like Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and Stroud and Purdy, Nix, Lawrence. Go down the list of guys who have seen some success and being super young and making it work. Some guys just can't make it. Does the NFL have a developmental quarterback issue? Is it on the NFL side of things, or are these guys leaving college too early? We continue the conversation. Let us know, 888-760-3776. Phone lines are open, 888-760-3776. Does the NFL have a developmental QB problem, or is this a situation where too many quarterbacks are being drafted and some just can't make it? We continue that question. We continue the conversation. Next, stick around. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Unsportsmanlike mornings, theoretically speaking at 2, Russo and Rizzo at 4. It's like a sports sandwich. Does that make Theo the meat? ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's your boy JC. Did the New York Jets just decide Aaron Rodgers' future for him? Find out on today's brand new episode of Questionable Call with Josh Cohen, exclusively on YouTube. Subscribe now on YouTube. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Brand new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach. You've got so many chances to win big on Hard Rock Bet. Even a small bet can bring in that serious cash. All you need is $1 and a dream.
Unbelievable. They've hit the parlay.
Let's go! Big payouts for every kind of player.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Mark your calendars and gear up for game day. This Sunday, November 3rd, join Bud Light and the ESPN West Palm Street team at Draft House Bar and Grill in North Palm Beach. Catch the action as the Buffalo Bills face off against the Miami Dolphins from 1 to 3 p.m. Showcase your football skills for a chance to qualify for Dolphins tickets. Enjoy $15 buckets and $12 pitchers of ice-cold Bud Light while you cheer on the Fins. Must be 21 or older to participate. Southern Eagle reminds you to please drink responsibly.
Any business that wants to get to the top and stay there requires a dedicated team to implement a winning game plan. EisnerAmper's seasoned professionals provide business advisory and consulting services, such as audit, accounting, tax, HR, outsourcing, and more. EisnerAmper business advisors help clients transform their companies, build capital, innovate processes, and mitigate risk. For industry-specific strategies that meet your needs in South Florida, make EisnerAmper part of your solution. Visit EisnerAmper.com/solution.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
A Wednesday edition of Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3, live from the Boca Raton Bowl golf outing at the Boca Raton right here in South Florida. Colin Rizzo, Mike Rizzo on his 30th birthday. Damian Perez helping us out at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach on the ones and twos. Christian Catt, our phony producer, going to be live at the micro wrestling event tonight at an abandoned church, giving us live play-by-play updates instead of the Yankee game. So great job on his part. But it's a fun time now. People start to fill into the ballroom a little bit. People just played some golf. Having a good time. The action was at the Boca Raton today, but if you want to find the action on December 18th, Mike can tell you all about it.
Folks, you got to get on out to the Boca Bowl coming up December 18th. You can get your tickets now, folks. Get your tickets now by going to BocaRatonBowl.com/tickets. That is BocaRatonBowl.com/tickets. Now, we were talking before the show, content director Brian Rowitz and I, Colin and I, could we see one of the service academies at the Boca Raton Bowl? Could we see a Navy? Could we see an Army? I think those are a couple of teams we could be seeing, and those are some solid teams that we could be seeing coming up in 49 days. We're 49 days out until the 11th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Go to BocaRatonBowl.com/tickets to get your 2024 pre-sale sign up. We will not be having Boca Bowl weekly tonight because I am going to be able to enjoy myself with the team and everybody here. And we've had a fantastic day at the Boca Raton with the Boca Bowl golf outing. 49 days, folks. Get your tickets down by going to BocaRatonBowl.com/tickets.
Mike and I trying to diagnose the problem with developing quarterbacks within the NFL and college. Anthony Richardson benched amongst a slew of other quarterbacks that haven't been giving as long of a leash as maybe quarterbacks of years past. I think the leash is getting shorter and shorter in terms of being an effective NFL starter. Maybe that's due to the fact that certain starters in the NFL, a la C.J. Stroud, are coming in having immediate success. Jaden Daniels. And teams are, when they don't see that, all of a sudden they're ready to jump ship, refresh, and restart. And now is this, to trying to diagnose and boil down this issue, where does this problem lie? Do these quarterbacks leave their colleges too early? Is it have something to do with the transfer portal and these quarterbacks not sticking out a program trying to learn an offense? Is this dumbing down the quarterback position? These guys are not ready to take on a defense and dissect a defense week by week. Or is this a situation where some quarterbacks, you know what? Teams are reaching on them. More quarterbacks are being drafted than ever. Some of these guys just don't work out. And maybe that has a lot to do with it. But Anthony Richardson, the next domino to fall in the young quarterbacks that hasn't been given a ton of leash, that is now going to be pushed to the bench in favor of Joe Flacco.
Let's you got your notebook there. Let's write this out. Situation, coaching, lack of development. I think that falls under, what would we call what I'm trying to say with the scouts and the overrating of quarterbacks in the draft?
So you're talking about
I want to go through all my stuff.
You want to talk about scouting?
Let's do scouting. So scouting's on there as well. Organization. I'm going to say
the transfer portal.
Okay. Well, don't you think the portal helps now to get someone ready? Say, like, all right, so.
Do these guys try to dumb down these offenses because these guys, it's like free agency, and they have to learn a new offense every year, and all of a sudden they're not sticking out a program. Like Brady said, they're not college programs anymore, they're college teams.
Right.
And so these guys are coming in trying to learn a dumbed-down college offense, and all of a sudden they're not ready for the NFL.
How about DJ? Is DJU an example of that? And
he's not going to be an NFL player.
But you know what I'm saying, but with the progress. A guy that I have up for us, all right, folks, this is Chandler Morris. Riz, who's Chandler Morris? He is a North Texas quarterback. This year, folks, he leads the college football. Now, we're only, 9 weeks in. He leads college football in passing with 2,873 yards and 26 touchdowns. I guarantee you this kid's playing for a Power 5 next year.
What year is he?
Junior.
Junior.
I guarantee you he's going to be playing for a Power 5 next year. Hear me out on this, see. Instead of going to the draft and hoping to be a 6-round pick, 7-round pick.
Make your $1.5 million going to a team like that. I agree with that. So this is a point of that the quote is changing.
Yes.
I agree with that. Stay in college longer and come out when you're ready. There's a point to that because Anthony Richardson is the prime example of you did not play enough in college and all of a sudden people are drafting you off of physical attributes and physical attributes alone, and now it all blew up and then everybody looks stupid.
Right, but we see it in basketball a lot too. Guys who ball out at mid-majors that end up at Power 5 programs and are able to do something special. Who knows, guys? Remember this name. Might be anything I might be reaching here. Chandler Morris, balling out at North Texas this year. Great touchdown-interception ratio. Could be playing for a Power 5 and maybe get drafted in the draft in a couple of years. Now, I wanted to bring this up too. How about Atlanta? You like what Atlanta's doing? Remember when everyone gave Atlanta, they were the joke of the NFL draft. The absolute joke of the draft. And I'm at the time, Colin, I can't lie, brother. I was guilty of it, all right? Why the hell are you drafted Penix? You're paying Cousins all this money. Is this the Falcons kind of following the Packer way in a sense of we're going to let Cousins play this contract out? When Michael Penix's time is to start.
It doesn't even need to be all of it. It could be 2 to 3 years.
And when in 2 to 3 years, Michael Penix is going to be 26, 27 in the prime of his career.
But ready.
Right.
That might be the thing.
Right.
So all of a sudden, yeah, you're right. Take the Packer away. Big deal. What did the Packers do when they drafted Jordan Love? They took a ton of heat.
Right.
Gutekunst took a ton of heat about not giving Rodgers a first-round receiver in the first round because I know that was a big deal with the Packers in getting a first-round receiver when they had Devontae Adams right there, which is stupid. But I know that was a whole thing about not giving him enough offensive weaponry.
And even on the pick, I'm going to go further. With Jordan Love, everyone was like, oh, God, he had a horrible year. You're drafting him based on 2 years ago, and then you're not going to start him for 3 years. This kid's never going to pan out. So I envy. I've always envied teams like the Packers who've just been able to so seamlessly able to switch quarterbacks and have success. As a miserable Brown fan, folks, that's all I know is just quarterback turmoil, me banking on a rookie to be good. That's why I have the take I do of I want the young players to play because I want to win, damn it. Yeah. I want to win, man.
And then I think it's starting to turn a light to the fact that the way to make this work, if you're going to draft a quarterback and he's not a top 5 ready-to-play rookie-year quarterback, the best thing to do, probably in all likelihood, if there are veterans on the market, is to not play him. I think J.J. McCarthy getting hurt is going to help him so much more in hindsight. I know he's not practicing, but he gets a full offseason with the team. His meniscus, that's not a terrible injury. He'll be ready to go by the time the winter comes around. And all of a sudden he gets a full offseason. I'm going to assume they're going to move on from Darnold. McCarthy's going to come in. I think he's going to be so much better off a year under his belt. He's young. He's a 20-year-old guy.
I'm with you. I love McCarthy. I'm a big McCarthy guy.
And he's going to be so much better off that in a weird way that he got hurt. That's going to help him so much in terms of slowing it all down. And I think Penix, I watched Penix come in. And I liked him in college too. Watch him come. And what was Penix great at in college? He was always a deep ball guy, vertical offense. They had a ton of pros on that offense. It was not necessarily something that immediately translates to the NFL. Let him go in the NFL. Let him figure out a pro-style scheme. He's already old. I get it. He has injury issues. I get it. But in 2 years, the Falcons are sitting at 5-3. They love where they're at.
2 things on Penix. The number one thing that impressed me in college, his ability to throw under pressure. Let's remember real quick. Michael Penix got hurt, a bad injury at Indiana, all right?
Shoulder surgery and knee surgery.
Before he left Indiana, Colin, he was kind of a rusher. He was known for rushing, not necessarily, and I know he could always pass, but not necessarily being the pocket passer that he turned into at Washington. So number one, fair play to Penix for changing his entire game. And also, the thing that stuck out to me was his ability to throw under pressure with guys on his back. Remind me a little bit of Big Ben Roethlisberger, who terrorized me my whole fandom growing up. Big Ben Roethlisberger would have 3 guys on his back and throw a deep ball to Hines Ward or Antonio Brown, whoever the hell it was, for 60 yards and complete it. I think Penix has that quality. Number 2, you mentioned Darnold and McCarthy. I think McCarthy will probably be the starter in Minnesota next year. I agree with you on that. And I also think Darnold is going to get paid by a team like the Browns. All right? Maybe the Browns.
The Rams, I think he screams Rams.
Browns,
McConnell
Rams,
to McVay. After Stafford's out.
I also think that he would fit in a Kevin Stefanski offense as well. I know you like Stefanski as well. I just, Darnold is also a case of failing immediately. Panthers, I can't even remember at this point. Jets. Okay, remember, pick 6, his first NFL throw was a pick 6 on Monday Night Football. Okay, that kid was not ready for that situation. He foregone his senior year as well. So all of this stuff falls under the umbrella we're talking about with quarterbacks right now.
And some guys are just not that good. Let's make one thing clear. I'm under the impression... Rosen. I'm under the impression that some of these guys are just not that good. Mac Jones is not that good. He had a terrific college offense. That Alabama offense doesn't necessarily always translate.
People will argue the great first year. Sorry to butt in. People will argue the first year.
Sure. And he was solid, and I understand he wasn't dealt the best of hands in following up in Tom Brady's footsteps of all people. But I still think Mac Jones is that good. Trey Lance was a swing and a miss. And they even let him sit and figure it out.
They've said it. They've said the Niners... Literally, in John Lynch's press conference, he said, yep, we made a mistake. Basically, in a nutshell, we owned up to it, and we moved on from it. And Brock's our guy moving forward. So, I can respect an organization. I can respect someone for doing that and taking ownership of it. Agreed?
And it's the teams like that have a sense of conviction, that are willing to go get a quarterback when not necessarily they don't need one, number one. And 2, when they're willing to take a risk on one that will take a couple years to pan out. It takes conviction. It takes guts to do that in an organization, and you're almost always going to take flack.
Yep.
You're almost always going to take heat. Now it's the teams like that, the teams like the Niners, the teams like the Falcons in this case, the teams like the Packers that are willing to eat that, and then all of a sudden we know what's best for our team. We don't listen to the fans. We don't listen to the draft scouts. We don't listen to all that garbage. Because all that does, if those people were so good at knowing what quarterback is going to be for what best scenario for what best team, they would be working for NFL teams. That's the bottom line.
Agreed.
If they knew so much about how a quarterback should be implemented into an offense or how early he should play, they would be running teams.
That's why I can't take some of these ex-coaches and GMs seriously when they start bashing, right? I understand they have experience and stuff like that, but for instance, I look at, and I love Belichick, okay? I'm not trying to go at Belichick's neck here, but remember what he said about the Pats, that they were soft? That kind of bothered me a little bit. You're not there anymore.
You're not there in the building.
You're not
He's
there
talking about how tough they were last year. They lost 3 of their best defenders from last year in terms of that, and that team stunk. Bill, that team stunk.
You're not there anymore.
Dug that, and Bill the GM is the reason that Bill is no longer
Look, I understand he'll be a Patriot for life, and that organization will always mean something.
That's not your team anymore.
And Gerard Mayo's a former player of his. That whole thing was odd to me.
I agree.
That whole thing was odd.
So now it's a situation in which now you can shift it to college, and I want to shift the conversation to this. Let me pose the question before we get to break. Now, how does this impact college quarterbacks? Because they see this. The agents see this. NIL is getting more and more money because now all of a sudden with this expanded playoff, more money is going into colleges, number one. The conference TV rights deals are getting more and more expensive, so the schools are getting more and more money. And therefore, the players, especially the quarterbacks in college, are getting more and more money through their NIL. Because of that, and they know that these quarterbacks have a short leash and a short half-life in the NFL. Does this start to change in quarterbacks that want to get out after their junior year or their redshirt sophomore year? Are guys like Drew Aller from Penn State going to want to hang around another year? Are guys like that going to want to stick around when they have the extra year and can take advantage? We'll get into the conversation. Is that going to change the college quarterback way? Next, it's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend bets against your team and the friendship. Or choose chill because you're drinking Coors Light with your buddy. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon.
You get the idea. And now, get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Closing out the program here on a Wednesday edition of Russo and Rizzo, live from the Boca Raton Bowl golf outing at the Boca Raton right here in South Florida. Colin Russo, the birthday boy Mike Rizzo on his 30th birthday. Damian Perez helping us out in the ones and twos back at the City Place Studios in West Palm Beach. Having a blast here, great event. Everybody's piling into the ballroom as we start to give out the award ceremony coming up soon. Seeing which foursome at this golf outing played the best, who is going to take home some nifty awards from some of our partners right here at ESPN West Palm. But we're talking about a slew of things in terms of how the quarterbacks are being developed from the NFL side of things, but also from the college side of things. Are these guys ready to declare? Are these guys ready to play immediately? Anthony Richardson, yet another domino to fall in the young quarterbacks that haven't been given the most of leash comparatively in terms of being ready to play immediately. And now you shift the question, not from the NFL side of things, but now go to college. Guys like Drew Allard, Penn State's quarterback. Guys like Jalen Milroe, Alabama's quarterback. Guys like Garrett Nussmeier, LSU's quarterback. Are those guys that have been touted as NFL quality prospects, are those guys going to reconsider going into the NFL draft this next year as a junior when they have another year of eligibility where they can continue to hone and refine their skills, and on top of that, where they can make a ton of money in NIL?
Yeah, and I wonder how much of that is actually smoke, right? I wonder if that's actually true, but Colin,
is it situational too?
Here's the thing. Drew Aller, all right, I covered him, folks, in Medina High School, all right? 20 minutes south of where I grew up in Strongsville, 40 minutes south of Cleveland. Medina is where Drew Aller grew up, all right? He's not ready. I'm going to be the first to say it. That kid is not ready for the NFL.
Off his high school film?
No, Colin. The point I was trying to make was I followed his career closely. Yeah. Obviously, he's at Penn State, big rival of the Buckeyes.
I don't even think he's a pro quarterback.
He has never had a game where you look at college against a good team and you go, wow, he's the reason they won the game.
He reminds me of like a Jarrett Stidham type of quarterback.
Christian Hackenberg had more success than he did, if you could remember all the way back then, Colin. I mean, honest to God, folks, there's no conversation. These kids need to go back to school. All right.
Does Garrett Nussmeier need to go back to school?
Colin, if they don't, they're going to be the next Anthony Richardson.
Jalen Milroe. What do you think he's thinking? This is somebody that Alabama has plenty of five-stars.
How about the last two Alabama quarterbacks that have came out? Now, people want to get on me about my Buckeyes. Riz, Ohio State quarterbacks stink in the NFL. Let's look at the Alabama quarterbacks, okay? Mac Jones backing up Trevor Lawrence. Bryce Young, God forbid, horrible situation. I feel for the young man. But it looks like he might
worked out.
And I'm going to say something, looks like he might stink, okay? So, Colin, who am I to tell this kid not to chase his dream and to say, hey, don't make $20 million
But be
next
smart
year.
about it, right? Yeah, there's a total point.
And then Colin,
Nussmeier, I'm seeing people say that Nussmeier is a first-round quarterback.
How?
How is Nussmeier? What has Garrett Nussmeier done?
Lost to A&M. That's what he's done.
He stinks. He was god-awful against Ole Miss. I don't see it. And being a junior and seeing all these quarterbacks drop like flies at the NFL level, what tells him that is the right move to declare? Who is telling him that? And if he doesn't, then that's one thing.
I'm going to tell you who's telling him. His agent, who's telling him he's going to make $15 million
do you want to make 1.5?
Yeah,
and it's also a light quarterback draft.
Right.
So you're going to be drafted in the mid-first round and get a $30 million contract that's 80% guaranteed.
And his agent, by the way, the agent who wants to make money from the contract he's going to sign in the NFL, and his agent is saying, you're going to get hurt. There's a risk that you are going to get hurt if you go back to school. You want to know who went back? And at the time and the situation of the NFL and everything, I thought it was the most idiotic thing he could have done was Justin Herbert. And I know you're not much of a Herbert guy in the league. But look what it's done for him.
He was a strange college quarterback, too.
Agreed. But he was immediately ready in the NFL. Multiple 4,000 passing yard seasons. Really has done everything but had success in the playoffs. Okay? So I don't know what to think, but a lot of those guys you just mentioned, Nussmeier, none of them are ready. None of those kids are ready. Maybe Milroe.
Took Burrow 5 years. It takes these guys a long time in college athletics to get their feet under them.
Milroe is probably the most ready out of any of them, if there are any. I think so.
I think Milroe's got a lot of issues.
Hang on. Can I flip some? Can I tell you somebody, Colin Russo, who I think is proof in the pudding that staying helps, is Cam Ward.
Probably could have went to the draft last year. You're right.
Cam Ward. Look what he's doing in Miami. If the Browns, I told you I don't want the Browns to draft a quarterback because, number one, I don't think it's a quarterback
Probably
draft.
would have been a first-rounder last year. Probably.
I think Cam Ward's the pick. If the Browns have a high pick, if any quarterback, let's just not make this about me, all right? If your team needs a quarterback and they have a top 3 pick, the pick is Cam Ward this year, in my opinion. A guy who's, to Colin's point, been there for 5 years, in college for 5 years. Everyone wanted him in the portal. Didn't go to the draft because he knew he could go somewhere, ball out, and make money in the portal.
It was a good quarterback. It was a good quarterback draft last year, and you don't know about this one this year. There's not as many players.
And he's doing it an hour south with Mario Cristobal at the University of Miami. We've got a lot of UNM fans here at Boca Bowl golf outing today.
So there's a good point, and it sounds like this should be the new wave, and ultimately it's a good thing. It'll even out the amount of quarterback talents. They're not just all going to flock to LSU, Ohio State, and Alabama for the rest of the times. They're going to have to spread out a little bit and figure out their own way.
And to your point, you think Miami has money? Okay? You think Texas has money?
Yeah.
You think even smaller-ish Division I programs? These teams can, trust me, there are a lot of frustrated alumni that want to win. And guess what makes you win in college now? Funneling NIL.
There's going to be an argument about this with Arch Manning this time next year.
Can I tell you something quickly that's bothering me, that I'm upset about?
Okay.
The Buckeyes have a roster of $20 million, and Ryan Day is going to the bell against Nebraska, who lost 56-7. Money, and the point I'm trying to make is, money doesn't fix everything, but golly, does it get you in the door? Does it get you in the door to top-tier talent? You got to be able to develop.
Yeah, I understand. You're right, and it does. And all of a sudden, you can pay for it, and now these guys can make money. But there's going to be a conversation about Arch Manning next year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Arch Manning's going to have no experience under his belt. He's going to sit probably for good reason. He'll come in and probably be great. But is he going to be ready after a year of collegiate playing?
Does he stay at Texas? He stayed this long.
And the thing is, he doesn't need the money. And he's got 2 Hall of Famers in his corner that are going to steer him in the right direction.
And he's stayed.
If anybody's going to make the right decision for himself, it's going to be him. And I imagine the draft order is going to have something to do with it as well.
And I think if you were to ask, behind closed doors, if you were to ask Eli, Peyton, his father, okay, I think they would be on our side.
100%.
Let's develop you. You're not ready.
Especially on the Manning cast and the godforsaken quarterback play that they're watching on those Monday Night Football games.
That we're all watching, by the way.
So they're watching that, and Peyton, you can see Peyton, he's losing years off his life watching some of these quarterbacks make decisions. This is all an experience thing. So I think this is the Anthony Richardsons and the Bryce Youngs of the world. I'm not saying Bryce Young necessarily wasn't ready, but if they want to leave college early, doesn't always work. If they want to go to the NFL immediately and all of a sudden they're week 1 starter, it doesn't always work. And it doesn't always work out that these guys are not only going to be able to handle the unexpected but inevitable adversity that they're going to face on a number 1 overall team that is immediately taking these hits.
And Colin, the next thing you know, instead of getting contract number 2, you're on the sidelines for Peacock.
Yeah. So that's the situation that quarterbacks now fall themselves in. There's too many. The turnover is too high. You're not giving these guys nearly enough time sitting and learning because that's what it takes in a lot of ways. And sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes these guys come in and they stink.
And there are examples of guys playing immediately and having success.
Totally. C.J. Stroud, like case in point. But
good situation, good head coach, good defense, good general management.
And if they're not ready to win, and the player is not ready to play, can hurt you sometimes more than you think. Anthony Richardson wishes he played immediately now where he is. You think he wishes that he was a week 1 starter?
I think, and then his body too. Can I take it a step further?
That? Yeah. No, he doesn't. He does not wish that. He wishes he was probably on the bench somewhere, soaking, learning it all in, a la Patrick Mahomes. That's what he hopes. That's what he wishes his career went. Now he has to face this embarrassment and learn how to grow up fairly quickly. Wonderful show today on Mike Rizzo's 30-year birthday. Another 30 years in the bank.
Appreciate it, brother.
Away. Happy birthday to Mike Rizzo. Big number 30.
God.
Big thanks to Damian Perez back at the City Place Studios, helping us out in the 1s and 2s, making sure we go over the air. Christian Cat, our producer, is a phony for going to a micro wrestling event instead of the Yankees World Series tonight. 8:08 first pitch. Garrett Cole, Jack Flaherty on the mound. Yankees down 3-1. If they get out of New York here, Dodgers are going to tighten up with that off day. Watch that happen. I'm going to root for the Yankees tonight, root for a good World Series. We'll see if they could get back into this. It's been Russo and Rizzo live from the Boca Raton Bowl golf outing at the Boca Raton. Big thanks to them for having us out. Sending you off into Thursday. Enjoy the World Series. We'll be back at it tomorrow, 4 to 6. It's been Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Feeling too intelligent after listening to Unsportsmanlike? Balance it out with Theoretically Speaking weekdays